You're playing a Shovel Knight. Gameplay is pretty similar to, the original Shovel Knight, except you're going down. You're digging down underground, so it's kind of like it's Splunky, except you're just going down. Like you're not really going like left or right. It's just
Okay.
like you're going straight down pretty much. I finished it,
You finished
which
it?
yeah, which is pretty surprising. It only took a few hours,
Wow. Okay.
and I'm honestly not sure if I loved it. Well, I definitely didn't love it, but I'm not sure how much I liked it at this point. And this is kind of it's a bigger problem than what I had with Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, which came out last year, and I really liked that game. But the problem with both of these, and they're both roguelites, is there's not enough unlockables that you collect that actually impact the gameplay.
Okay.
And I'm saying this in comparison to, a game like Hades, where you can go through a run and each time you go through, you're going through with like a different weapon,
Yeah.
or you're going through with a different set of power ups. With this one, you just have the shovel, so that's really your only weapon, and the only thing you're collecting is these accessories that either give you like special moves, kind of like how Shovel Knight had in the first game, where like you had like kind of like a boomerang that you throw, all these special moves that you can do. But there's nothing really that impacts the gameplay in a meaningful way. And I had the same problem with Pocket Dungeon, but with this one, like it just feels a lot worse. And for $25 and the
Oh, that
game
was
really only lasting like
that's the price of Shovel Knight.
that's the price of Shovel Knight, like the complete
Yeah.
edition with all those separate campaigns. And I mean, this is another comparison to Pocket Dungeon, but that one was $25 too, and that one I beat in like 5 hours.
Hmm. Okay.
So I think there's a real issue with how they're choosing to price their games, where it just at the end of the day it just doesn't feel worth it. Like if this was like a $15 game, like maybe a $20 game, then I'd have a different opinion on it. But it doesn't feel like there's enough meat there, and
Yeah.
especially for a roguelite, which wants you to replay it. It kind of like breeds replayability, or kind of like I don't know warrants replayability. Like I just don't want to replay this game. Whereas a game like Slay the Spire, which is a different genre, but
But still
with
a
something like Slay the Spire,
roguelike. So
yeah, like that, like Hades, Dead Cells, like I really want to go in and replay those. Whereas with this one, I have no drive to go in and play it again.
do they have they like announced like any like long term content for this? Are they gonna, or is this kind of like a complete package in terms of?
They said there was DLC coming for this one, and they also said the same thing for Pocket Dungeon, but I don't think we've seen anything for that one yet.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't really know. Like I think they need to step away from roguelites and just create like if this would have been like a regular Shovel Knight game except you're going down, that would have been a great game. If it was like level based, if it was designed very intentionally, if you had like this upgrade system similar to the original Shovel Knight, I think it would have been a really great game. But because it's not procedurally generated, but because it's kind of like that roguelite type of game,
Yeah.
it's harder to get that fulfillment out of it, I think.
Does it play like Shovel Knight? At, pretty
It
much.
plays pretty similar to Shovel Knight. The combat's pretty similar, except when you jump or when you're falling, um, Shovel Knight automatically lowers his shovel.
Okay.
So like if you're falling and you land on an enemy, you're gonna do damage to that enemy.
Okay. Okay.
So that's kind of the big difference. And you can't well you couldn't hit up in the original game, but you can't hit up in this game. So like if you're digging underneath something, if you're digging underground and you're like shit, I left something up there, you really can't dig back up to get it.
Okay.
So that's
Hmm.
a few differences, but yeah, I'm kind of bummed, honestly.
So if this was like $10, would you be more, you know,
Yeah, if it was a lower price, I think I would be
I wonder
more.
why they chose such a. I mean, $25 is not expensive, but compared to what you got with Shovel Knight, I wonder. I wonder why they chose to go that route. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. I didn't realize Pocket Dungeon was that expensive. I thought it was like a $10
Yeah, and
thing.
I'm surprised with that too because they like had a whole blog talking about their sales figures for Pocket Dungeon, and it didn't sell well. Like it really didn't sell that well, and I thought they would have taken that um, taken that and done some analysis and been like, hey, maybe we should charge, $10 cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't know, change the pricing model a little bit, but they're collaborating with these developers that have spent, 5 years creating these games, and it's really just like one or two people creating these games that they're partnering with them on. So
Hmm.
like
Do they
maybe
do they
that's why
have
they
any
charge more.
plans on like a Shovel Knight 2 or anything like that? Do we know about that?
I I think they have plans for more Shovel Knight games. I don't know if there's going to be a Shovel Knight 2.
Hmm. I would be kind of nervous if I was them. If this game doesn't sell very well, I mean, I don't know how it's reviewing, but
It,
I
it
mean,
reviewed pretty good. Like it's in the 80s.
okay, that's pretty good.
And like I'd say roguelites are definitely more
It's a tough sell for sure.
approachable. It's more approachable than a card game though,
Yeah,
or than a puzzle game.
yeah, yeah. That is true. I would just hate for them to like hurt their brand for Shovel Knight if they're putting out too many kind of not like banger hits for it. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I was interested in this game, but now having what you said, I will probably just pass on and or maybe just pick it up if it ever goes on sale or something like that. But I mean, I would love another like Shovel Knight or like some sort of
Yeah, man.
like maybe
I
even
really wish they would just
smaller
do that.
like story stuff or like whatever. It doesn't even have to be like a whole long game, like just some other character or something like that within that world. But yeah, I need to go back and finish that the King what was it, the King DLC, whichever
King of
King of
Cards.
Cards. I need to go back and finish that. I never did beat that, but
I didn't either. That was the one I didn't finish.
yeah, because I really actually like that card game that was in there too. But
Yeah.
um, well, that's kind of stinks. But I mean, so yeah, I guess the game's good. But if people can hold off and grab it on sale or something like that, maybe that's the better route to take.
Yeah, or if you really like roguelites,
Yeah.
like if that's like something you're really into, then I'm sure you'd like this game.
But if there's
Like
no
I
like if
I
there's no high replayability, then is it hard to recommend for people that like that kind of stuff? Like, I mean, it's
yeah.
not as deep as like a Hades is or something like that. Like, you know,
Yeah. It just made me want to go play Slay the Spire, to be honest. I know that's completely different, but I don't know. Yeah, I hate to kind of like dog on it because I think the gameplay is really great,
yeah.
but yeah, I think they should step away from roguelites for a little bit and just try to create something more focused, more intentional.
Okay.